What's up, Gear Mortals? Trey Xavier here. Today, we're going to attempt to write a song in the style of Dream Theater. But in order to do that, we need to get the sound right first. So in order to get there, I've got a fun new toy. This is the JP15 from Ernie Ball Music Man. This is, as you can see, a hell of a looker. But how does it sound? We're about to find out. Here we go. We're gonna use Helix Native. We're gonna use the Cali 4 lead. Cool, so let's check out a lead tone. Pretty much every lead tone I've ever dialed in my entire life has been trying to get the Petrucci sound. So using that same amp with a bunch more juice, I just kind of turn up the 2200 and 750 a little bit and put a bunch of delay. I have been an enormous Dream Theater fan for over 20 years at this point, and I've spent so much time listening to them that I think I'm basically not even going to really have to think about this all that hard. I think it's kind of just going to come out of me. Spent a lot of time studying their music, spent a lot of time with the Rock Discipline VHS, rewinding that back and learning all those little exercises. Probably the most notable consistent thing about Dream Theater's songwriting style is that there's almost no consistency at all. They take the kitchen sink approach. There's a lot of things that they'll do a lot, but if you really sit and listen to it, it's not any one thing. The whole thing is that it's progressive, heavy, and melodic. That was their mantra for many, many years. It's really all over the place, which gives me a lot of freedom, but at the same time, I still have to nail the Dream Theater sound. One thing they'll do a lot is start with like a modal kind of a riff, a modal sound. I've been messing around with some different exotic pentatonic scales lately, so I'm gonna see if I can pick something out of that kind of a sound to start with. Hey, that's Dream Theater-y. That's gonna take a little bit, but. This is a kind of riff that Petrucci would play with open strings instead of chugs, and then later on bring it back with some chugs. But to open, kind of like About to Crash. Something like that. The reason that this is a dangerous line to be towing is that, like, at what point am I actually ripping off Dream Theater, and what point is it a nice tribute that just stylistically sounds like them? I don't know that that's up to me to decide. Hopefully it's not up to a lawyer to decide. Dream Theater's kind of a little bit masochistic, so they love to add just like one beat to a measure to change it up, to just make it harder and weirder. So I'm gonna do that here. Let's see if that works. Yeah, I mean, I gotta play it for real, but that kind of works. And then to end it off, and then on to the verse at last. Let's program some drums real quick. Obviously, Dream Theater has an incredibly sick drummer, and the two mics are not something that I've got. So, you know, if we're trying to make it sound like older Dream Theater with Mike Portnoy or newer Dream Theater with Mike Mangini, it doesn't really matter because I am neither. But got my Superior Drummer 3, and I got my fingers, and I got rhythm, I got music. All right, we're gonna start with some big fat kicks that are gonna sort of accent this riff. Amazing. Wish I had octobons, something like that. Okay, so now we got a little drum intro. Let's see, is that cool? kind of ugly, but I like it. Then I'm going to double this little ending riff up an octave if I can do that. Now we need the beat to kick in full. One thing I do to keep stuff like this really groovy, rather than it just being I'll double up the hi-hat, but one of them will be really tiny. Now I'm gonna quantize a bit. I'm gonna add some other stuff that will make it a little more full sounding and keep it moving forward. Maybe it would be cool to do halftime for the last bar of this part. Only one way to find out. Kinda cool, maybe? Maybe I'll keep it? Now what we need is a variation of this riff that will leave enough room for some vocals. Maybe it's got some palm muties. Maybe I just take out a lot of the notes. Yeah, I'm standing up now. So what? All right, now we're going to do a classic Dream Theater mess around where we do a little bit of metric modulation to make it feel like we've gone into a different time signature when actually it's just a sort of like 3 against 4 kind of a thing. Let's see if that's going to work how I intended it. Yeah. All right, I feel like we need a pretty heavy one coming out of this, sort of like a pre-chorus, a little bit of an idea. See if this will take us into the chorus. So now we've kind of reached where a chorus probably would go. In actuality, because this is like a microcosm of a Dream Theater song, really it would probably be dragged out a little bit more before we actually hit the chorus, which is a cool trick to like really make the listener wait for it. Progressive music fans have a much larger attention span, and so you can use that to your advantage by like making it seem like the chorus is coming and then no, second verse. You're gonna wait for the chorus. We can't do that here because the song is only gonna be like 2 minutes long. Anyway, we're getting to the chorus. I've noticed that in a lot of Dream Theater songs, the choruses are actually just big rock choruses, big 4/4 open chords, like a lot of like just, you know, I mean, of course it varies wildly, but that's something that I like anyways. So let's do that. Cool. Gonna try and work a little bit of the main beginning riff into the chorus, see if that fits. So now to get out of the chorus and back into the original riff, I'm gonna do a tricksy fun little swapperoo with the chords. So we're on this, basically we've landed on the 5 chord. We've done one of my favorite things and something that Dream Theater does a pretty good amount too. Technically we're on E major, but everything we've done sort of harkens to E minor. So it's like we set it up so people were expecting E minor and then did a little and made it E major instead. But then all the other chords are still from E minor. So it's kind of a like a modal interchange kind of a thing. Now we got to add some drums to this pre-chorus bit. I'm going to metal it up a bit. I feel like it needs to be more aggressive, so I'm going to add a bunch more double kick, and then I think halfway through I'm going to double time it. So let's see how that sounds. it's time to come up with a chorus groove on the drums. I have sort of an idea of what I want. I usually tap in the most basic version of it, and it always sounds really dumb before I go in and fix it. Like literally this one is going to be a whole lot of... So this is the ending to the second verse as it stands right now. But what I actually want to happen right there is a monster fill, even that's longer than that, just kind of drags on a tiny bit, and then wild instrumental part. So here's the fill I came up with. And then insanity. I had to sit down again. It was too much. That's sick. Okay, so then more lead guitar. Yeah. So now it's time to write some vocal melodies and some lyrics. And I like to do this at this point because I was going to write a guitar solo right now, but I wanted it to be over the chorus chord progression. I currently am not super in love with what I've got for the chorus. We'll see what happens when I try and put some vocals on top of it. I've got some lyrics that I wrote. As a child, I was very headstrong. I did not take shit from bullies or really from anyone. I did not like being told what to do. And really, I always thought that my teachers were really stupid and I hated school. And now as an adult, looking back on myself, my little Trey, I think that I was right. I think that the teachers at the school where I went were 100% spirit crusher pieces of shit. Kids who are creatively minded and happy and full of life come out the other side feeling like the way that they are isn't good enough. And so I wrote these lyrics about my experience with that. And so now I'm going to attempt to put them to this piece of music that I wrote for my job in a creative field, doing the thing that I want to do. So long story short, you should never let anyone crush your creative spirit because it's really all you've got. When I write lyrics, I start with just like a bunch of shit, basically a word cloud. I don't know what most people do when they're writing a vocal melody, but the first thing that I do is figure out what a good note to start on is that's in my range. When I track vocals, I like to use the Joey Sturgis Howard Benson vocals. I have a preset that I like, and away we go. Now the question is, do I want to try and sound like James LaBrie? All right, big mouths come with tiny minds. Big mouths come with tiny minds. Only one opens outside the lines. Yeah. Big mouths come with tiny minds. Only one opens outside the lines. They're just afraid to be who they wanna be. Outside the lines. They're just afraid to be who they wanna be. Catching snowflakes on your tongue. Life goes fast when you are young. Setting the stage for who you're gonna be. All right, now I'm gonna do a little bit of a snarly, nasally James LaBrie kind of a thing. Don't you listen to one word from the Crushers. One word from the Crushers of the soul. That's Portnoy backing vocals, from Train of Thought. All right. It's okay. I don't have to be LaBrie the whole time. Don't you listen to one word from the Crushers of the soul. Follow the path. Follow the path that escapes to the sun. You are the one, you are the one who breaks free. Escapes to the sun. You are the one who breaks free. Daydreamer, the world is gonna need you someday. Don't ever lose your spark of insanity. Here's the thing that Dream Theater does sometimes. Have a nice, like, acoustic strummy chorus after a big old build of some kind. Spark of insanity. Well, I have now sat with what I've written so far for the past couple days, and I am pretty happy with just about everything except for the chorus, which is only the most important part of any song. There's parts of it that I really like. I like the lyrics. I like the kind of general melodic idea and stuff, but I'm not really feeling the chords. I don't know. It just doesn't really sound right to me. So I'm going to kind of take a do-over. I mean, I'm going to keep some of the elements, but in order for me to be stoked on this and to be able to play it with some feeling and to enjoy it, I'm going to have to change it. So I do have an idea for a chord progression that I think is a little bit more authentic. This is really super important to get because I'm also going to be playing the guitar solo over this. And if I'd have just gone ahead and written the guitar solo over the old chorus chord progression, I would have had a solo that I couldn't use. So it's a good thing I waited. I just tracked a shitty scratch vocal along with it because what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take these kind of boring, regular old bar chords and I'm going to try and spice them up a little bit. If I don't have a reference, I won't know if they're working right or not. Now I'm going to blend in an acoustic guitar sound using the piezo pickup on the JP15. All right, I felt like in order to make this last chorus really pop, it needed a much more aggressive beat than we've been using up until this point. So I dropped in this. Now it's time to write the guitar solo. The part that I have to solo over is essentially one time through the chorus, and then I'm gonna let the keyboard take a rip over the same amount. Little tasty triplet thing. All right, guys, I've been sat here for a couple days now writing this song, getting to use this amazing guitar. I never want to put it down. It is absolutely fan-friggin-tastic to play. I kind of feel like at this point, you don't need to see any more of the writing process. I've gotten most of the main bits. I'm just going to kind of polish it off, and then I'm going to send it over to a couple friends of mine and see if they want to contribute some parts to it. So at this point, I don't actually know who's going to wind up on it, but you probably do because it probably says in the title featuring whoever it's going to be. So now watch me play the final song. Here we go.
Big mouths come with tiny minds. Only one opens outside the lines. They're just afraid to be who they wanna be. Catching snowflakes on your tongue. Life goes fast when you are young. Setting the stage for who you're gonna be. Don't you listen to one word from the crushes of the soul. Follow the path that escapes to the sun. You are the one who breaks free. Daydreamer, the world is gonna need you someday. Don't ever lose your spark of insanity. Left out of the common hive, lost in a world that's outside of time. You're not afraid to see the way things could be. Reaching ever for the sun, marching to a different drum, breaking the cage to set your spirit free. Don't you listen to one word from the crushes of the soul. Follow the path that escapes to the sun. You are the one who breaks free.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed the song. I really loved playing it. I loved writing it. This was so much fun. This was such a great experience. Thank you so much to Ernie Ball Music Man for sending over this fantastic JP 15. It's an absolute masterpiece, just like pretty much every single guitar I've ever played from them. So if you're thinking about getting one, I can honestly very highly recommend it. Thank you to Dream Theater for existing. I love your music so much. Been such a big fan for such a long time, and so it's really fun to get to do this kind of a thing and have anybody care about it at all. Guys, if you enjoyed watching me write this, then you're definitely going to want to head over and subscribe to my Twitch channel where I write all kinds of music all the time. I wrote some of this song live on a Twitch stream, so you can see this kind of thing all the time over there. And as always, if you enjoy my music, you're going to want to subscribe to my band In Virtue. There will be cards at the end, and to the Trey Xavier channel as well. So as always, if you haven't already mashed that subscribe button, smack the bell to join the notification squad. Drop me a like and leave a comment in the comments section letting me know if you think that I nailed it. If you think this sounded like Dream Theater. If you think that I didn't even come close, I want to know, and I'll see you real soon.